Hello, beautiful soul. I hope that you are well. I wonder if you struggle, like I did, with being really hard on yourself, calling yourself names, feeling like you're a loser. Well, I want to talk to you about self-compassion because at this time, when a lot of us are being challenged in close quarters with other people, not feeling like we're being as productive as we'd like to, maybe even losing your temper, getting a little irritated with your loved ones, it's really easy to start beating yourself up. And for the longest time, I was so mean to myself. Like the concept of self-love is something, of course, I get now, but all the way up until my mid-30s, I really struggled with it. I mean, really struggled with it. I had such a negative dialogue in my head. I had all these different judges telling me that I wasn't good enough, smart enough, like the things I was doing, they didn't matter. But the moment that I realized I had to work on my self-talk and discover self-compassion was when my daughter was born. It was one of those experiences that is not new. I'm not trying to say it was, but as a single mom, caring for my daughter at a time when I went from being a very busy business owner in the media, doing my thing, to I was at home. Now, I knew that I wanted to be home with my daughter because my mother, who was in medical school when I was a baby, I know that we didn't have the kind of bonding that we now know is so important for healthy attachment and healthy growth and development. Now, I wasn't suffering or anything, but I have done so much research to understand why I got so, confused, and why I didn't love myself and why I found it so hard in relationships. And so when I had my daughter, I wanted to be fully present. And I didn't want to be working 80 to 100 hours a week. But she was like not sleeping in a bed on her own. The nanny had her always in her arms. So she just expected that you would always hold her to go to sleep. She also was nursing every 2 hours. Yeah, like almost around the clock. So I was sleep deprived. I was all alone. I was dealing with the feeling of not getting anything productive done. I'd get through a day and feel like I haven't done anything. I haven't talked to any clients. I haven't written anything. Haven't even sent emails. But guess what? I noticed that the more stressed I was, the more irritable I was, so was my baby. She was even more grumpy. And I could tell, even if I tried to put on a happy face and change my tone of voice, my daughter could totally feel my energy. And at that time, I wasn't as present and mindful. I was just like, ugh, so full of anger and irritability and, and then if I did blow up or I was too harsh or she wouldn't settle down for nighttime sleeping, I would find myself just totally berating myself, feeling like I was a bad mom, like I can't even do this. Like every negative thing that you could imagine, I was thinking it. And I was directing all of this hate toward myself. And then again, it would spill over into my daughter. And so I remember hearing that caregivers of special needs children, caregivers to the elderly, caregivers to people in the home, they have the highest levels of stress. They end up with accelerated aging. They have high rates of depression and anxiety. And I knew that I had experienced depression before, and I was heading in that direction, being so sleep deprived, postpartum. And that's when I realized I had to do something about it. And I discovered all of this work on self-compassion. And so self-compassion is this idea that we direct tender wishes of non-suffering toward ourselves. Now, at that time, the thought was completely foreign to me, like, you can't be easy on yourself. You need to go, go, go. You need to pick it up. You need to do better. But reading the literature, I found out that there is a very gentle, simple practice. It actually comes from the East. Many people in the Buddhist tradition know something. It's called the metta, or loving kindness, or compassion meditation. And the idea is, with compassion, it's the same sort of tender-hearted wish that you would wish on a little puppy or a little baby. You'd want them to not suffer. You'd want them to be totally well. You have this sincere desire that they be happy and that they live a life with ease. Well, those same wishes that you would wish for an innocent being in this world, you direct that toward yourself. And I think the first time I sat down to practice this compassion meditation, I cried my eyes out, because just the idea of sending myself these tender wishes, it revealed to me just how much I was carrying self-judgment, blame, guilt, shame, not enoughness. Like, it was heavy. And as I started to do more and more of the research, I realized, whoa, this is really powerful. So the neuroscience nerd cap on again, we now know that practicing this type of meditation actually has lasting impacts on the brain, the immune system, stress hormones, blood pressure, like, it runs the gamut. But in 2009, I was at the anti-aging conference, and this was right when they announced that Blackburn had earned or won the Nobel Prize. She and another person shared the prize for medicine. The Nobel Prize in medicine was for this discovery of telomerase, which is an enzyme that helps keep these things called telomeres. And telomeres are just little caps on the ends of your DNA. And so this discovery in medicine, they found that if you have these little end caps on your DNA, then that means every time a cell is dividing and replicating, the DNA has a greater likelihood of making a healthy copy. But if those little, like, end caps are short, then sometimes when the DNA makes a copy, there'll be miscoding. And that means that the cell that's made from that can potentially be cancerous, or it will die too soon because the body can recognize that it's not healthy. And so what they discovered is people who are stressed, caregivers in particular, the studies have shown that the end caps of their DNA, the telomeres, are like shot. And so if you look at telomeres as a marker of aging, people who are under stress as caregivers, they age faster. Okay, you didn't need the Nobel Prize of Medicine to know that. You can see it. You can see the presidents, when they come in, their hair is all dark colored. By the time they leave, their hair is white. They've got more wrinkles. So we know that, of course, as caregivers, as parents, we know that, even as entrepreneurs. But what was interesting is that not only are there supplements you can take and plants out of China that can impact this enzyme to protect the telomeres, we can also do it for ourselves with meditation. Meditation, breath work, qigong, yoga. Look who's come to say hello and snuggle up. She loves coming in for some love. So it turns out that meditation, and in particular this loving kindness meditation, can actually help you slow down the aging process, reduce stress, and put you in a better state. And it does it by impacting this enzyme called telomerase. So I want you to be mindful of that, because there's a 21-day compassion meditation challenge. I call it a challenge only because so many of us are hard on ourselves. And I don't want you to continue to be hard on yourself. So follow along with me. Do this 21-day compassion meditation challenge where you will receive an email and an inspiring quote and a beautiful image, and then you can listen to a guided audio taking you through those exact phrases of the loving kindness, metta, or compassion meditation. You're going to direct compassion towards yourself. You're also going to direct compassion toward your loved ones or people that you care about and pets. And then you're going to send those wishes of compassion all around the world, even to people you don't like so much and people you don't even know. And I promise you, you will notice a difference. It is incredible what people hear. One of the things that you're going to notice with this is something they call the boomerang effect. When we are sending out pure wishes for someone else and good intentions, we get it back toward us. So people report that their health, their well-being, their moods improve, they have better sleep, and yes, of course, all of the stress stuff goes away or goes down significantly. And the reason that that's important is if you're dealing with a lot of stress right now and you don't see an end to that, like when my child was a baby, it's not like it was going to end in a couple of months. When we're dealing with crises like what we've got going on in the world right now, it's going to last. And even if all of the virus is like dried up by the next month, there's still these repercussions from having your kids at home and maybe being out of work and all of that. And so we've got to practice some of these simple techniques that don't require money, that actually don't even require you to leave your house, so that you build up resilience, you protect your brain and your body, and you will be able to thrive again. So take this 21-day challenge with me, please, and share it with anyone else you know who is really challenged and struggling with stress and anxiety and maybe even depression. And you will find that doing this 21-day challenge, it only takes a few minutes every day. You can do it in the bathroom, in the bathtub, wherever you get those few precious moments to yourself. Do this compassion meditation every single day and tell me what you notice. Tell me what you experience. I promise you that it will have an impact. And the good news is, rather than doing a meditation where you have to sit alone and clear your head, you get to listen to a guided meditation, imagine it, and send these wishes to yourself and others, and you get the benefits. All right, my friend? So please know that I am always sending you compassion. It is my prayer that you be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. I pray that you are well in body, mind, and heart. May you be peaceful and live with ease, and may you know true happiness and the causes of happiness. Much love.